Brother, have you ever pulled a sickie to get a day off work or school because you simply couldn't be asked, either with the work itself or just seeing your colleagues or just going through class? And did you immediately give no shits because you were only seeing what you wanted and not the true opportunity that lies in showing up, which gave you an opportunity for future you to skip your responsibilities again? Cool? Me too. I did this countless times over my college years, and I blamed my sickie days on needing mental health days. Cool, me too. I did this countless times over my college years. I blamed my sickie days on needing mental health days. This common human reflex we've all got, right? And by leveraging it, we try to get what we want in the short term, which we will label as the easy path, overrides your good honest judgment of the future me and you, who we are making an even tougher time for by acting this way. But again, it is a common human reflex. So why try to fight it? Well, today we are going to uncover why it is so damn tempting, why our brains are wired to do it, and the cost of playing this game. And of course, the one simple shift you can make to prevent yourself from getting branded by your own game. The bubble-wrapped life that we're going to call blame offers a trap. A bubble-wrap trap that creates a false sense of relief in the short term, cushioning the blows, right, to the ego, protecting us to feel safe and to take the blows of the lack of responsibility, because I know we would much rather feel safer, remain in comfort than voluntary or involuntary face potential personal inadequacies or failures. The internal dialogue for this can look like this. It's not my fault. I'm overweight, I have bad genetics, so there's literally no point in me trying to lose weight. And this is giving you a reason to keep the knife and fork glued to your hands because you simply can't help it the way you are, my friend. But you absolutely can. But this is where blame traps you in the bubble wrap, right? It acts as a temporary shield, deflecting the immediate hits, but doesn't solve the problem at hand. And your ego is blindly safe from any outside forces until the effectiveness of blame's bubble wrap wears off, because the false sense of security blame wraps you in only lasts so long until the chickens come home to roost from burying your head in the fucking sand from your problems. All that valuable time you used up was used on a botch job when you could have done the right thing for you from the get-go. You'd rather cast your words against yourself, wait the problem out so it gets too large to bear, and then the bubble wrap you believed could protect you in the first place only dulled every time you used it. And the most eye-opening thing for me around blame is that it doesn't come from laziness, which surprised me. It actually comes from an outdated function built into us from a fundamental and evolutionary viewpoint. Your brain loves being an under-the-radar problem solver, so you can think less and stick to the same scripts and do what our brain does best, which is to survive. However, even though your brain has your back in keeping you alive, which is absolutely fantastic, so thank you, brain, but it is programming us to be flaky when you try to do anything pushing you beyond your comfort zone. Because our brain, having this natural function, is to keep us safe and for us to stay comfortable, most importantly, in a state of survival, our brain is a prediction engine and wants us to stay safe. So if you look at our brains acting as the mother who doesn't want us to leave home and does our washing for us, which is fantastic when we go there, but she has our best intentions at heart, right? But she doesn't see the bigger picture of there's a big world out there. And I believe we have a duty to find along the way many little purposes that sculpt our lives, and the potential impact we can have is truly immense. Therefore, our brain uses blaming to create a path of least mental resistance in the short term, masking the suffering for another day, instead of pushing us to face our problems head on. One of the other challenges we face externally is the reinforcement our brain has as a result of us humans collectively vibrating off one another, influencing us to act, think and feel in very similar ways. Blame is now, with the power of social media, modelled everywhere, from media to the inner workings of our intimate connections, so our family, friends, this having a high potential threat of becoming the default script we run without even thinking. Because our brain, also being a connection machine, it loves to feel safe through being wanted by others. And as a result, we fit in by doing and believing in what others do around us, further reinforcing our brain to think blaming is more okay as it's socially accepted. And the greatest problem with taking any responsibility is that it can be seen as an immense burden. It feels heavy, and it can be easier to offload this immense weight using blame as the scapegoat. But in the long term, you chip away at any strong self-image of yourself that you had in the first place, if you had any of it, and worst of all, a bittered energy individual. All because the weight of ownership is too harsh, too overwhelming, too harsh to bear. And we all feel this way, it's a fact. And it's what makes us human too. And a question that I have for you is, what is the cost across a life of the hell that comes if blame becomes an ingrained philosophy in a man's life? And a potential answer, or a potential starting of an answer, is the true cost of playing the blame game. And my potential starting of an answer is the true cost of playing the blame game. And this is a cost that no one will spend with their earned money, but the cost of your limited time, and further, the quality of that limited time you have to live in this body, in this world. And it's this: you have the power to create or destroy in life, and the choice to remain stagnant, which I view as slow death or death by 1,000 cuts. And you can view your power to create as a power to create a reality of heaven on earth. And adversely, the power to destroy manifests itself as a reality of the reality of hell on earth. The slow eroding decay of a man's potential, his relationships, and his very spirit. It's a self-imposed prison built brick by brick with every abandoned responsibility. The prison of powerlessness. The drifter supreme. He lives as a forever lasting victim of circumstance. Life is what it is. The life is what it is mentality. His happiness, success, and well-being are always at the mercy of external factors. The economy, his boss, his partner, bad luck, the government. He feels like a pinball bounced around by life with no agency over his own trajectory. The shit sandwich isn't just a diagnosis, it becomes his entire unchangeable reality. This manifests itself into the constant complaining, a narrative of being hard done by, waiting for something or someone else to rescue him or fix his problems, or fix his own problems. He's waiting for the game developers to patch his life, never realising he has the controller. Look, that picture of a life built off blame. It's bleak, it's a warning, and it shows you exactly what you're fighting against when you choose to step into the forge. But hearing all that, understanding the cost isn't about shaming you. If you recognise yourself in any of that, guess what? That's not failure, brother. That's awareness dawning. And awareness is the first thing, the first light you shine into the darkness of drift. Because here's the simple, powerful truth you cannot change: what you don't see. You can't dismantle a trap if you don't even realise you're caught in it. You can't rewrite a faulty program if you don't know which lines of code are corrupted. So, the absolute first victory in breaking free from the blame game itself, the very first hammer strike in forging a reality, is simply this: recognising your own blame patterns as they happen. And that's it. Not fixing them yet, not judging yourself for having them, and not figuring out all the answers. Just noticing the goal for today, the first assignment for you, brother, as you step towards real ownership of yourself, is to activate your internal observer. It's to simply become a detective of your own blame game. And here's some tips. When you feel that frustration rise, when things don't always go your way, when the old urge to point the finger outwards starts bubbling up, catch yourself. No judgment, no need to broadcast it, just a quiet internal, there it is. That's the blame reflex. Or noticing I want to make this someone else's fault. Just notice this simple act of detached observation. It's incredibly powerful in developing your awareness. It creates a tiny crack of space between the stimulus, the problem, and your old automatic response, blame. And in that space, that's where conscious choice begins. That's where you start to reclaim your power. So you've started to see it, brother. You've begun to acknowledge that blame pattern. That's the first step to dismantling its grip. And because understanding why we blame, why our brains play the old tired game, that understanding is how we start to dismantle its power over us. It's how we begin to see the bars of that cage we've been living in this entire time. And once you see the blame game for what it is, and what it really is, a trap that keeps you feeling weak, stuck in the drift, watching your potential rust, once you truly see that, you become ready for the alternative. You become ready to stop pointing the fingers, oi oi, and start picking up your hammer. You become ready to stop complaining about the raw, imperfect metal that is you and start forging something fucking real, something strong, something yours. And so, what happens when you flip that script? What happens when you intentionally choose to stop blaming and start owning your ground, your actions, your future? That, my friend, is where the real power to build your life begins. That's where you step fully into the forge. And in our next session, we're going to dive deep into radical ownership, the master key that unlocks it all. Get ready, the build starts now. And of course, if you have found value in this video, I know you'll like this one. Check out Stop the Drift, 5 steps to build your purpose and beat distraction. Like and subscribe to join a community of men in their 20s who are architecting their lives. Peace, brother. I'll see you in the next one.